Guys, today Kenna, Isol, and I are going to be presenting on blueberries and rat memory. So in order for you to apply that to your life, think about if you came to your grandma's house and you found her knitting in the living room, but you smelt something. And so you go into her kitchen and you realize her gas stove has been left on for hours. Not only this, when you go back into the living room, she starts to light her cigarette. Or if both your grandparents are LDS, and to keep this applicable to you guys, she lights her essential oil candle. Next thing you know, the house is inflamed. You might be wondering, why are these problems more prone to happen as people age? Well, it's as a result of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens when the proportion of free radicals we have exceeds the amount of antioxidants. Free radicals occur when we have UV radiation, radiation in general, air pollution, and it can even happen as a result of our own cell metabolism. These free radicals happen when an electron from an oxygen atom is lost, and this creates a chain reaction. When this happens in our cell membrane erodes, and the only thing that can stop this chain reaction are antioxidants. An antioxidant comes in, and one of the electrons is donated to that free radical. You might be wondering, where do we get these marvelous antioxidants that will keep my cells from degenerating? Well, 3 of them are produced in your own body. However, as we age, our body stops producing these as rapidly, and you'll need to consume them in your diet if you want to keep assembled. You can find these antioxidants in your diet in kale, carrots, tomato, broccoli, ginger, bananas, garlic, avocados, and peaches. Because oxidative stress increases as we age, we see the symptoms of oxidative stress increase as we age. These symptoms are found in multiple areas of our body. In our brains, we can see the effects of oxidative stress in the form of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, ALS, OCD, ADHD, autism, migraines, insomnia, depression, and dementia, and cancer. In our lungs, we can see the effects as asthma, cancer, allergies, chronic bronchitis, and COPD. In our immune system, we can see the effects as chronic inflammation, autoimmune disorders, HIV, herpes, Crohn's, hepatitis, cold flu, lupus, and cancer. In our blood vessels, we can see the effects as hypertension, varicose veins, elevated cholesterol, and triglycerides. In our eyes, we can see retinal degeneration and macular degeneration and cardiacs. In our heart, we can see the effects as heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure, or angias. In our kidneys, we can see the effect as cancer, renal nephritis, or chronic kidney disease. In our skins, we can see the effects as wrinkles, acne, eczema, dermatitis, or cancer. A multi-organ effect is diabetes, chronic fatigue, heavy metal toxicity, and Lyme disease. In our joints, we can see the effect as rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. All of these effects would suck to have. So if you're like me, as you get older, you're going to want to increase your intake of antioxidants in your diet. So to study the effects on the brain and memory and how we can prevent it, we decided to study rat brains. The reason why we decided to start off our studies on rat brains instead of human brains is rat brains produce nuclear factor K beta, which is a signal for oxidative stress.
Okay, like Mikkel was saying, we decided to see how antioxidants could help with memory loss in rats. And specifically in this study, they were looking to see the effects of a blueberry-enriched diet. So before we get to the different experiments they did, I wanted to touch on the test that they used for memory. and it's called the Novel Object Recognition Test. So for an example, if I set a rambutan fruit and a banana in front of you, and I told you that I needed to know what it tasted like, the texture, the smell, all the different characteristics of both of these fruits. And then I gave you, say, 10 minutes to look at them. And then if you only spent about maybe 2 minutes with the banana and 8 minutes with the rambutan fruit, I could assume that you probably are less familiar with the rambutan because you needed more time to figure out the characteristics and be able to answer those questions. So then I could also give you a score, maybe of 80%, meaning that you spent 80% of your time with the rambutan and you are less familiar with it. So they did a similar test with the rats. They would put them in a box with two objects and give them about 10 minutes to explore these objects and become familiar with them. And then they would take the rats out for an hour. And when they put them back, they had one object, one of the objects that they were familiar with, they had given them time to study, and one object that was new or novel. And then they would give these rats a score, depending on how much time they spent with each object in order to see if they remembered the object they had previously been given time with. Okay, so a little bit about the rats and the blueberry diet before we get to the experiment here. They used Fisher 344 rats, and in a previous study done, they found that these rats had a lifespan of about 24 months, and at around 19 months of age, they had extreme memory loss, which was perfect for this study that they were doing. They wanted to see if these rats, if anything changed with the blueberry diet. These rats also did not increase in weight as they aged, which was really helpful because the blueberry diet they gave them was based off of weight and how many calories they would need every day. So 2% of their diet was blueberries. And in humans, if you were eating about 2,000 calories a day, that would be about a half cup of blueberries. So not a whole ton that they were giving these rats. Okay, so the first experiment, they wanted to see if a blueberry diet could prevent memory loss. And so they took Fisher rats that were 17 months old before they supposedly had memory loss. And they had three groups. Group A, they just fed a normal control diet. Group B had 1 month of the control diet and 1 month of the blueberry diet. And then group C had 2 months of the blueberry diet. And then at the end of the 2 months, they did the novel object recognition test to see how their memory was, if it was still impaired or not.
So this is the experimental results that Kenna mentioned in previous slides. There is object memory recognition scores, which is percentage of exploration time spent with a novel object. For the figure A, that shows 19 months of age are experiment. And the corresponding data from the previous study was 4 months diet are shown in figure A. In figure A, the object memory score was the percentage of total exploration time spent with a novel object versus a familiar object explored an hour before testing. As in previous studies, the aging control diet rats performed no better than 50%. However, the 1 month and 2 months blueberry diet groups performed significantly better than the control diet group. They spent approximately 70% of the exploration time with the novel object. And figure B, the control diet performance in both experiments was almost identical. Likewise, the performance of rats on the blueberry diet for 1 month and 2 months in the present study was almost identical to the performance of rats on the blueberry diet for 4 months in the previous study. This graph shows that the 1 month and 2 months blueberry diet groups did differ in terms of retaining the benefits to memory function. The 1-month diet group displayed a significant decrease in its object memory scores over the 4 weeks. There was no significant change in the control diet group or the 2-month diet group. The control diet group failed to perform significantly better than 50% at the end of the diet 2 weeks later and 4 weeks later. The 1-month blueberry diet group performed significantly better than chance, which is 50%, at the end of the diet. However, its performance was not significantly better than 50% 2 weeks after and 4 weeks later diet. The 2-month blueberry diet group approached significantly better than chance performance. Its performance was significantly better than 50% 2 weeks later and 4 weeks later.
Okay, so for the second experiment, they wanted to see if the blueberry diet can actually help reverse any memory loss that had already taken place. So they took fisher rats that were already 19 months old and should already have memory loss, and they had 2 groups. The first group was fed the blueberry diet for a month, and then the second group was just fed the control diet for a month, and then they did the novel object recognition test on them as well to see if it had reversed any of their memory loss.
So this graph is very straightforward. This graph talks about aging rats subsequently maintained on a 2% blueberry diet for 30 days significantly improved their object recognition memory scores. In contrast, the control diet group actually showed a non-significant decline in object memory scores from 19 months to 20 months.
So you may be wondering, how can I apply this to me? Well, if you love your grandparents and don't want them to forget your face, bring them blueberries every time you visit. Also, we would like to continue other experiments. We'd like to apply the same experiments on humans, and we would like to test out different forms of antioxidants in food. We would like to try out different fruits and vegetables and see their effects on both rats and humans. And we would like to try out different forms. So if we cook the fruits or if we put them in bars or pellets, whatever works best, we would like to find out. Thanks for watching our presentation.